This does something better than the last one because that was horrible. I'm gonna let people pile in before I start it up. Let's see what that was. 172. Yeah, that was what. This might even be worse. Oh, I don't have my shit turned on. This might even be worse. Oh no, what am I doing? Hello? Nobody coming up in this mug? What's going down? Is it really doing that? There we go. Weird. Alright, let's get this shit on the road.
You know, I had the incredible privilege to serve as President Trump's CIA director and Secretary of State. It was my greatest honor to work with him every single day to serve you, the American people. Now you all are paying attention, so you know what the Trump administration achieved, but it's worth going through a few of these accomplishments. Let's start with this. There were no new American wars. Our border, our southern border, closed. It may seem like a long time ago, but when we took office, there were people's heads being cut off at the beaches. We destroyed ISIS and its caliphate.
Everybody smash the like in here.
Let's
get this bitch popping.
We never lost our Secretary of Defense for 2 weeks either.
What up, Tommy?
You'll remember, for those 4 years, the evil of Vladimir Putin was held at bay. When we walked out, January of 2021, the Iranian regime was afraid, and the people of Israel were strong and secure, and we treated like the friend and ally that they need to be. Everywhere we went, religious freedom was protected. We held 3 summits in North Korea, and North Korea was quieted. We'd begun an honorable exit from Afghanistan, and not a single Chinese spy balloon flew across the United States of America. 4 years. Had I been the Secretary of State and a Chinese spy balloon flew across our country, I would have been the former Secretary of State, and rightfully so.
I know you warmongering. This dude's a straight warmonger.
Which to this day presents the greatest threat to our nation from outside of our country. We confronted it like never before. Look, ladies and gentlemen, in short, we put America first every single day. "42 months on, what has Joe Biden and Kamala Harris done? And their leftist handles, what have they delivered to us for security and prosperity? Almost nothing. Let's start with this. You saw some of them last night. 13 new Gold Star families from Afghanistan. as an Army veteran, I want to speak to everybody who served in Afghanistan. I'm disgusted by the Biden administration's incompetent pullout from that country. To those of you who served there, know this. Know that your service was honorable, that you saved American lives, and that the Pompeos love and admire you for what you did for America. Thank you, and God bless each and every one of you.
That dude's a straight warmonger right there, boy.
Every one of you has served in uniform, and the families of those, you deserve a president who will not check his watch while he is honoring our fallen brothers and sisters. It was indecent. And of course, it was that very weakness we saw in Afghanistan that prompted Putin's butchery in Ukraine. Last week, we saw what it meant. A children's hospital bombed, innocents killed. It did not have to be. And now, of course, the second war in Gaza. President Biden won't even talk about the fact that Americans are still being held there by the Iranian regime. Contrast that with what we did when Americans were wrongfully held. President Trump sent me to North Korea to bring home 3 American passengers.
I remember that shit. Remember that?
We brought them home. Along with dozens of other hostages, and we did so without paying one single penny to the terrorists. And what about Iran today? When Joe Biden eased up on President Trump's maximum pressure campaign, we gave money to the Ayatollah.
This
so he
dude's
could cut more
spitting
checks to the
fucking
genocidal
facts,
maniacs
though, bro.
who conducted barbaric attacks.
Right, protege.
And now,
I'm
of
digging
course,
it.
closer to home, a massive national security challenge. Our southern border is a welcome mat. It's a welcome mat for Islamist terrorists, drug dealers, Chinese spies, and violent criminals.
Craziest shit ever, Gary.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Biden sold out our citizens and our security and our sovereignty, and we need to get it back, and I am confident that we will get it back.
Let's go. That's what I want to fucking hear. I don't like hearing all this pussy shit. Just speak some shit, dog.
I saw how the world always looks to our nation as the unrivaled example of what a free society should look like. But unfortunately, President Biden struts the global stage. Maybe I should say he shuffles the global stage.
I was going to say struts is a pretty tough word.
He talks a big game about American values. But what's he done at home? What's he shown the world? What have he and his leftist base actually shown other nations?
Get on, bro.
He's censored free speech here at home. He's put woke into the military that I and you so desperately love. We must reclaim it. He put it in our schools as well. He's weaponized the justice system against our political opponents. And even to this day, as we sit here today, he and Vice President Harris are providing appeasement to the pro-Hamas radicals on our streets here inside the United States. And even worse, today this administration treats illegals better than our own citizens. That is indecent.
That's the facts.
And the entire administration has failed to tell us the truth. The truth that we all know and is so dangerous to our nation. The truth that Joe Biden can't handle that 3 a.m. phone call. Indeed, he won't take a phone call after about 4 p.m.
You should be talking about Camel Toe Harris, bro. It'd be even funnier.
It's really simple. We can't trust the Biden administration, and that means we have work to do to uphold American values. It is up to those of us in the room tonight and those of you watching tonight. Donald Trump will every day, I saw it firsthand, he will put America first.
Let's go!
So let's do what's right and what's important. Let's elect a president who isn't ashamed of our nation and will never apologize for our country.
Damn right. He won't apologize for shit.
And when we do, we will put a strong America First leader back in the White House.
Fuck you, Anderson, Chris, USA.
Special, exceptional.
I bet you'd take it in the fucking ass.
Thank you. God bless you. God
Chris.
bless our veterans and the United States of America. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor Lorenzo Sewell.
What's up, bro?
Michigan.
Welcome back, Chris. Hope you're having a good day, man. Fuck you too, though.
My name is Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior pastor at 180 Church. And we were blessed last month to have President Donald Trump come to Detroit, Michigan.
Man, don't say that too loud, bro. Come on. Fuck Michigan.
Can you imagine it? Can you imagine President Donald Trump coming to a city and calling a pastor like me? A pastor who was born and raised on the east side of Detroit. I was mentored by murderers. I was a student of the street. But I had a radical experience with Jesus Christ that changed my life forever. Come on, if you believe that Jesus still changed lives, come on, put your hands together and give our great God great glory.
Damn right. Let's go. Let's do it.
Trump came to a church that is in
what, bro?
a Democratic
Take your fucking un-American ass the fuck on, son.
Everyday Americans like you and like me. He came to a church not to speak to us, but to listen to us. He came into a church, and a lot of people, they were upset. A lot of people, they would ask me questions. Why would you allow Donald Trump to come into your church? How many know that the Bible says we are all sinners and we all need the grace of God? How many know that the Bible says, he who has not sinned, let him cast the first stone? President Donald Trump, he came during his birthday weekend. Let me ask you a question. Grand old party, what would you do for your birthday if you were worth $6.7 billion? What would you do for your birthday? Would you come to Detroit? Would you come into the hood? He came to the hood because he cares about average, everyday Americans.
Rock out with your cock out.
Grand old party, I need to ask you a question. What would you ask for your birthday? If you could go to Mar-a-Lago or if you could go to New York, what would you ask for your birthday? He asked for prayer.
Like, where'd he go?
I believe that prayer is preventative and prayer is proactive. I believe that praying in the name of Jesus changes everything. And when we prayed for President Trump, only God knew that 30 days later, there would be a miracle by a millimeter. Only God knew that if we prayed for him during his birthday, there would be a miracle by a millimeter.
For sure though, bro.
If President Trump had moved 1 millimeter, he wouldn't have been here on Monday to talk to us about how America was going to be made wealthy again. If President Donald Trump would have moved
this is crazy, bro.
He wouldn't have been here on Tuesday to talk about how he was going to make America secure again. If President Donald Trump would have moved just a millimeter, he wouldn't have been here on Wednesday to tell us how he was going to make America strong again. And if President Trump would have moved just a millimeter, we would not be hearing tonight how he was going to make America great again.
He likes that word.
Before I take my seat, I just got to talk to you about something called providence and something called sovereignty. God's sovereignty is his ability to be able to do what he wants when he wants because he's God. And God's providence, it's when he does what he wants, when he wants for all of you. Did you know that President Trump was shot on 6/11? And do you know that Ephesians chapter number 6, verse number 11 says, be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power.
Speak, speak.
So all my Democrat friends, I want to ask you one question. Do you know anybody that was the 45th president? He was convicted of 34 accounts. He raised $53 million in 24 hours and could be the 47th president of the United States in America. And he was shot one time. Do you know anybody like that?
50, I don't know, dude. Tupac? 50 Cent? I don't know. I don't think they could run, though, for president.
So all my friends back in Detroit who are Democrats, I want to ask you just one simple
Jimmy
question.
Hoffa? No.
You can't deny the power of God in this man's life. You can't deny that God protected him. You cannot deny that it was a millimeter miracle that was able to save this man's life. Could it be that Jesus Christ preserved him for such a time as this? Could it be?
Let's go.
For him when he came to the round table in Detroit, that Jesus asked and he received, that we sought him and then he found protection. Could it be that the King of glory, the Lord God strong and mighty, the God who is mighty in battle, protected Donald Trump because he wants to use him?
Bro, why is this shit not moving?
If you believe that, come on, put your hands together and give our great God great glory.
All right, quite the enthusiastic remarks there from Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, firing up the crowd, almost like delivering a sermon himself there to the delegates gathered. Of course, he's a pastor of a black church in Detroit that former President Trump visited not too long ago. Of course, we've seen the polling out of Michigan. We know Michigan is in play for both Democrats and Republicans. A lot of these polls that we have seen showing Trump with a slight lead there in Michigan. In the meantime here, I'm Andrew Kraft. Thanks so much for being with us here. Just a live picture there inside of the Fiserv Forum
You think, Tony?
in Milwaukee. We do want to let you watching kind of interact
What up,
with us,
Tony?
so to speak. I want to put this
Both
up
you
on the
Tonys.
screen. Take a look at this. This is what we call an interactive poll here. We've been hearing from so many of these speakers all week at the RNC, but
Cool,
we want
brother.
to hear from you as well. So this is your chance. You see that QR code there. Scan that QR code or go to the URL livenowfox.com/connect. You can answer that question on your screen you see right below me. Did Trump make the right pick for his running mate in Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. The poll will be open all night during the RNC. We'll be checking in on the results as well periodically, kind of bringing you some of the results piecemeal here. With that question on the bottom of your screen there, do you think Trump made the right pick when he selected J.D. Vance as his running mate? Remember, go to livenowfox.com/connect or scan the QR code there on your screen. So want to make sure we got that in as well here. We're just getting started. We know there are so many more speakers tonight there on night 4 of the Republican National Convention. Interestingly enough, you juxtapose with what is happening within the Democratic Party, more calls for President Biden to step aside. There's been numerous reports today in Axios, Reuters, the Associated Press, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the New York Times.
Is it just still early or something? I'm just trying to figure out.
Slowly nudging and urging Biden to withdraw here. In the meantime, we do have former President Trump there. He has just entered Fiserv Forum. This is a live picture. Let's watch. Let's listen.
There is the future 47th president, the one-eared bandit, the fucking Stormy Daniels smashing, the golden-haired kid from New York, what up, Gage? The Teflon Don, the white 50 Cent, that motherfucker. Yeah, you know who he is. Apparently you say his name and you get fucking, you know, your dick slapped around a little. So, look at his one ear. Dude, you're telling me it just barely ripped off that? Look at the whole ear's intact, but the fucking little part of his ear, dude, and a little gauze? It must have literally grazed him. Oh yeah, pussy grabbing goblin. I forgot about that. He's just got a big ear. Love you all. That's right, love you all, everybody. Me and Melania, love you all. Love you all. Many men wish death on me, but I won't cry no more. I was like, alright, hopefully we got this fuck gay-ass music done.
It's an honor to be here this evening. I'm the PGA head golf professional at Trump International Golf Club in Palm Beach, Florida.
Really? I'd be damned if some dude with 8 chins tried to teach me how to do sports. Any sport.
We see that. And we all know that President Trump is willing to die for our country because we just witnessed
Unless it's
that.
like hacking a computer or playing video games, bro. You ain't teaching me shit, bro.
Donald Trump is a great boss and one hell of a golfer. At our club championship in March, I watched President Trump hit a perfect 210-yard 4-iron to within 10 feet of the hole. Yep.
It's manly.
He needed to sink that putt to win. Do you think he sank it? You better believe you sunk that putt. Donald Trump, 21 club championships. Joe Biden, 0.
21 championships. Biden, 0. Trump,
non-golfers out there, that's a pretty good record. That's
this
pretty
is
good.
fucking hilarious.
25 years ago, I was working multiple jobs, and one of those jobs was caddying at Trump International, and that's where I met Mr. Trump. My caddy job eventually would turn into a full-time job. One day, I was out caddying for Mr. Trump when he mentioned to me that he needed to find a teaching pro. He knew I could play, so he said, tomorrow, dress like a golf pro and come out and play golf with me. So in true Mr. Trump fashion, on the first tee the next day, he tees up his ball, whacks it right down the middle of the fairway.
I agree, Tim.
And I turned to him and I said, hey, I'm pretty nervous. And he said, John, you just relax and play your game. And it was great advice, because after 9 holes, he turned to me and he said, I've seen enough. You've got the job. Thank you. Later, I went on to become the head golf professional, and I'll never forget that moment with Mr. Trump. He truly changed my life. That's who Donald Trump is. For 25 years, I've seen his generosity and his remarkable character firsthand. His entire family reflects these values as well. With all the hate the president gets, I think to myself, how can someone go through all this? He could have chosen a quiet life. He could have played more golf. But he cares so deeply about America.
Who
and our
hears that
people.
bitch laughing in the background?
He
I just want to
keeps
kick her in the
working,
fucking
and he does it
ass.
for us.
Shut up when this golf
Now
pro's
it's our turn to
speaking.
support him. So let's help him. Let's hear it. America, great.
It's not me, guys.
Thank you, President Trump, for believing in me and in our country. As much as I'll miss him in the or in the clubhouse, we need to vote him back in the White House. Thank you very much.
Who we got next? Steven Zek Witkoff, real estate executives. Looks like I might have enough time to maybe, just maybe, rip a fucking dab or something, bro. We having a hole in his ear, throw off his coffee. Bro, you would think, man. You would think having a hole in your ear would definitely throw off your golf game. Oh, is that Kid Rock? No, I can't wait to hear Tucker speak tonight. I'm doing it. I already had it ready. I didn't do one earlier because I didn't want to be too tired, yo. Like I wanted to nap. I even got Marley's food right next to me, and I've got extra food over here, so I don't even have to get up. I fucking set it up like a savage. Wow, dude. I need to get this shit up, or I'm just gonna stop the damn fucking stream. I don't want to hold this for fucking nothing. Tim prepped. I did, dude, thinking it would be, a little bit better than it. Why do you say Trump is a racist? I didn't say Trump is a racist. Who said Trump's a racist? Oh, who are they, bro? Who are they? It's a good question. What's up, Bryce? How's it going, my brother? Hope your day's going well too, man. Thanks, Protege. You know what it is. I just know that it wears you down sitting here doing this. It wears your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was so exhausted after this yesterday because you're staring into two screens and you're watching can't find a good. People saying that I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I know all the rappers and everybody else is digging him. I know that he got Kodak Black is fighting Plies over him even questioning shit. If Trump was so racist, why does he hang out with Kodak Black and Lil Wayne and Kanye West and all them cats? You know what I'm saying? I just want that answer. Why did he do all those things? Why does even Ice Cube fuck with him? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go. Oh shit.
When I joined his business, I started at the bottom, literally, handling plumbing jobs and repairing sewage lines late at night in New York City. That's how he started too. I vividly recall him spending New Year's Eve fixing a broken sewage tank with a bear of a man named Shecky. You see, they couldn't afford to call in a crew. They were the crew. Years later, Shecky was still by my dad's side, and he became my first boss. He once told me he would run through a wall for my dad because my dad never asked him to do anything that he wouldn't do himself. And that's exactly how my family feels about our dear friend, President Donald J. Trump. We have seen him stand shoulder to shoulder with the American people, time and again, even when it wasn't easy, even when he could be doing something else. Even after getting hit by live sniper fire, he stood with us, my fellow Americans, and that is why we stand with him. And you know what?
I should have stayed with it, Chloe. I don't know. I
President
fucked up.
Trump and the First Lady were the guests of honor at my wedding at the beautiful Mar-a-Lago Club. The president tore up the dance floor until 3 in the morning with his signature moves. You guys know those moves. The essence of what
Nice,
my dad
Heidi.
taught me.
That was a
Hard
dab
work,
cough for sure.
Unwavering
Some
loyalty.
fire
and
diamonds.
Perseverance. That is the essence of Donald Trump. As long as we stand united with President Trump,
Where was
it will
the
remain the essence
Dead
of
Show
the
at?
nation that my son and all of our children grow up in.
Like the
God bless
actual
America,
dead or the dead
God
in
bless
company?
Donald Trump, and God bless the greatest nation on earth, the United States of America.
There we
Ladies
go.
and gentlemen, I am proud to present my father, Stephen Whitcock.
This dude needs a fucking WWF fucking. This dude needs a WWF introduction, dude. The fuck?
Good evening, everybody. That song that you just heard was American Trilogy by Elvis. It was playing for a reason. A lot of people don't know this about my dear friend, President Trump, but he's a big music guy. And he's got a playlist, and he's the DJ wherever he goes. See, I stand before you tonight, not just as a speaker, not just as someone who came up as a builder with the president in the world of real estate, but as someone who has had the profound privilege of calling President Donald J. Trump a true and dear friend for many, many years in good times and bad times. And of all the songs he has shared with me over the years, that is the song that best captures him, especially those words, "His truth is marching on."
I thought of that song after my dear friend was shot a few days ago. I gave him a call. I expected to leave him a voicemail, so it surprised me when he answered the phone. His first words surprised me as well. He'd just come within an inch of his own life ending, but he picked up the phone and said, "Hi, Steve. I'm really glad you called. How are you? How are your kids?" It surprised me, but it shouldn't have. I know this man very well. President Trump is as kind and compassionate a man as I've ever met in my lifetime.
Dude, he's fucking slow.
I've seen the truth of President Trump, and it marches on with me tonight. I know that many here and watching at home have felt that kind of a connection with the president. It's real. I have never seen him refuse a question from somebody, decline a photo, or ignore someone's story or concerns. Everyone he meets gets a family member's embrace from him. I have felt that warmth so many times over the years. Just last week, I told the president about a moment I had with his 3 sons and how impressed I was with them. He looked at me with a wistful smile, blowing a kiss, and it was a special moment between us as fathers. When my dad fell gravely ill, President Trump didn't just send a note. He didn't just offer words of comfort. He showed up as he always does. He was there, treating my parents with kindness and respect. Including my mom, who's 91 and
Thanks,
here
Doc.
tonight dressed in red and is going to be voting for the president. Many Americans have only witnessed his leadership on TV, but I have seen his humanity in the quiet moments, away from the spotlight, in hospital rooms he didn't have to be in, where his presence brought real solace in a dark hour for my family and many other families.
I watch this
That's who
guy.
he is. When times are really tough, when he's got everything to lose and nothing to gain, Donald Trump shows up and he's there for you. Thank you.
This dude's fucking up bad, dude. I wish I would have caught that. You should have seen
my boy
it.
Andrew to an opioid overdose, the pain was unbearable. But as usual, Donald Trump showed up.
This guy looks like the feds are fucking coming after him, dude. He can't talk.
Responsibilities of his office. He reached out and invited me to speak about Andrew at a conference on opioids hosted by the First Lady, providing a platform to honor my son's memory. And when the day of the conference came, he went out of his way that day to come and put his hand on my shoulder and say, "Steve," as he led me up to the lectern.
Did he jerk you
Tell the
off?
world about
Fuck.
your boy.
Suck his cock.
My boy was the best of us. Where we lived in New York City, a Trump building, 502 Park Avenue, there were 12 homeless people who stayed outside by the church next to the property. My son got to know them all. He fed them every evening. He became their friend. When he passed away, all 12 came to his funeral. He and President Trump shared something in common. My boy stood up for people, no matter which side of the train tracks they came from, exactly as the president does for everybody. Standing here today, I still feel my boy's hand on my shoulder. After Andrew passed away, I found myself clinging to my son's memory, even his things. His college ID is in my pocket right now. I wear his ring since he died. And I came today with his watch on. I kept his guitar too, and thought I would keep that guitar forever. But I gave it to my dear friend, Andrew's friend, and fellow music lover, Donald Trump. I wanted President Trump to have something with which to remember my son. President Trump didn't say something nice to me and put it in a closet somewhere. He put it right out front at his Trump International West Palm Beach property, where he and I both see it whenever we walk in and play, and where everyone who walks into that beautiful building sees it as well as an acknowledgement to my boy, a sacred tribute to a true friend who's gone, and a cause that is opioid.
I am.
Thank you. Standing here
I
today
am. What the
with my
fuck?
boy's hand on my shoulder, I know I'll never hear his music again. His mom and I can only hear the chords of memory now, and we will always hear them. But I know my dear friend, President Trump, hears them too. You don't see this man's reverence, his steady loyalty, his true empathy in the TV coverage. But this is the truth about President Trump, the man I have come to know and admire and love, a man whose truth is marching on. It is a dark hour for America, but there's nobody I trust more in this moment than this man. A man who in the darkest hours shows up, listens, cares, and always acts. The kind of man we need now to be the 47th President of the United States. Thank you. May God bless you all. May God bless President Trump and his extraordinary wife and his wonderful family. And may God bless America.
This
Thank you
dude's
so much.
still going. I just zoned out. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, everybody. I just totally missed like the last fucking minute of his speech. I was just on cloud nine for a minute there. That damn fucking put me somewhere else. I fucking was lost.
We're going to have same-day voting, voter ID. We're going to do it properly. We're going to have a good, secure.
All right, Andrew Kraft back here. We're gonna take this opportunity to
I
take a quick
just zoned the
commercial break.
fuck
We just heard
out.
from,
I forgot
Donald
I was
Trump's very
even
good
live
friend
for a
there,
hot
Steve
minute.
Witkoff,
Yo, I
fellow
was just
New York real estate developer, and Zach there on the stage. The RNC.
Oh
More
man,
speakers where
I
that
know,
came from
bro.
after the
Walking
break.
said he was glazing. He was, dude. He was like fucking. He was definitely fucking geeking on fucking Trump, bro. What's up, Ryan? How's my dude doing? What's up, man? Bro, I was falling asleep. I was like, dude, what the fuck? This dude he was reading in like parables. He was like, me and my son, I had a guitar, and it was almost like the thing told him, and I have his card right here, and Trump came up and he put his hand like here. It was like, bro, it was like they had to tell him everything. I don't blame him. I would have been nervous. I get anxiety. But yo, Trump's like, get it together, man. Come on, you can do this. How's Ryan doing though? If he's legal, you're about to have a big bill, my boy. What's up, Tony? They're about to come back on here in a minute. Shit, man. This is crazy, bro. If this shit don't
Speaking
pick
now
up
at
my
the
ass,
RNC,
my
Trump
fuck.
attorney Alina Habba. Let's watch.
If I could sit like this forever, bro.
As a devout Catholic,
It's not doing me no good.
a proud first-generation Arab American woman, and a feisty Jersey girl who is fed up with far-left corruption in Washington. President Trump championed my journey, empowering me to be who I became today. His unwavering support not only shaped my career, but has inspired other young women with big dreams. President Trump loves this country. He does. And he lifts up those around him.
That's crazy, Ryan.
To my children, Luke, Chloe, and Parker. He's the man with one heck of a golf swing that lets them ride in a golf cart with some of the world's most famous golfers so they feel included in mom's job. And by the way, he can kick some of those guys' butts. Ben. To my husband, whose family members have survived the Holocaust, he is a champion of the Jewish faith. To my Iraqi parents, he is a mentor to their daughter. But to me, he is my friend.
Damn, dog.
Not too long ago, a supporter shouted,
I'd
"God
smash.
bless you and President Trump," in the middle of Manhattan after one of our trials. Little did that man know that I was on the phone with the president himself. And he immediately asked me to pause, give the man my phone, and spent time speaking to him and thanking him for his support.
I hope Trump smashed that.
Despite the lawfare and the politics, President Trump loves the American people and he loves this country. For decades, the Trump Organization transformed skylines and created thousands of jobs. His buildings and businesses are a testament to his commitment to excellence and his drive to turn dreams into reality. But his greatest construction project was yet to come. The left has tried to demolish President Trump, but there is no bulldozer big enough or strong enough to remove the legacy that he has built or the future he is creating. As the 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump built a legacy of putting America first. And as the 47th president, he will build America stronger than ever for we, the people. As we stand on the brink of a new chapter in America's story, I am reminded of the country my family fled 4 decades ago. A place marked by religious persecution, oppression, and a lack of freedom. They came here because America is a beacon of liberty and opportunity. It is now our duty to protect the values that define us and keep this the greatest nation on earth. Amen. That's right.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to smash that. For sure.
Every attack on President Trump only strengthens our movement. The left's madness is only a sign of desperation. Sham indictments and baseless allegations will not deter us. Because the only crime President Trump has committed is loving America. And America, we are winning. Outside of his family and our country, President Trump also has another love: music. A few years ago, he wanted me to hear a new song he had selected for an upcoming rally. I could hear it blaring in the background at Mar-a-Lago. He landed on a song called "Hold On, I'm Coming." America, we no longer have to hold on. We just have to show up.
Damn right, bitch. I can't wait for Hulk Hogan to come in, bro.
If you're ready to end the Democrat destruction, and if you're eager
Oh
to
shit,
unleash
Tucker's
the
up
best
next.
America has to offer,
Fuck.
let's send Donald Trump and J.D. Vance to the White House in November. The future of America and the world is bright, and it begins with the unwavering spirit of each and every one of us. Because of the resilience and the leadership of my friend, President Donald J. Trump. So let us not forget that President Trump did not just take a bullet in Butler, Pennsylvania. He has and will continue to take them for each and every one of us. God bless President Trump. God bless you all. And God bless the United States of America.
They're definitely gonna have.
Andrew Kraft back here. You were listening to Alina Habba, who has represented former President Trump, not in any of the criminal matters that he is facing, but two of the civil matters that he faced last year. I'm going to come on camera here as we wait for the next speakers there.
Tucker's next.
In Milwaukee. So you might remember that Alina Habba did represent former president in that defamation lawsuit brought against him by writer E. Jean Carroll. Of course, we know that the judge ruled against him in that defamation suit somewhere to the tune of $83.3 million in damages. And then, of course, representing him in the New York civil fraud trial, where the judge there, Justice Arthur Engoron, found him liable for fraud there to the tune of damages of almost $500 million. So that was Alina Habba's work there as well, getting a primetime speaker slot there on the last night of the RNC here in Milwaukee. So we want to thank everyone for being with us here. I'm Andrew Kraft as we continue to show you all of these speakers, to let you listen in, to let you watch as well. What a exciting time there on the floor in Milwaukee. Everyone with their signs. You can see some of them. Make America Great again. That is crazy, tonight's theme as well. So we also have this live picture outside the Fiserv Forum there in Milwaukee. We know there was some nasty weather on Monday night. It looks like the sun is out there tonight in Milwaukee. We also have this live picture as well. Remember, we were told that there were going to be pretty rowdy protests going into the RNC.
Oh shit, the protester.
This one, though, we are watching and monitoring on the streets of Milwaukee. You see a lot of these law enforcement officials there with the barricades up. And remember, we were reporting in the weeks prior to the start of the convention that the security would be enhanced, that there was going to be a zone known as a free speech zone, where protesters who are opposed to Republicans, who are opposed to the former president, can make their voices heard and march in somewhat of a condensed, abridged location there. You see some of those protesters with their signs. Remember, your discretion is advised, of course.
Ready to pass
you see them marching right now. We did see that before we brought you this live picture. But calm,
this is too much work.
A little bit loud, but you see there some of these activists, maybe
I don't know how much events I'll be doing. I want to do the DNC, but I don't know. After this shit.
In Milwaukee, of course, you know, Milwaukee was also the destination for the first GOP presidential primary debate just last August. So you can see there a lot of police on the ground, no doubt. Security enhanced in the wake of the assassination attempt against former President Trump there. That's, I believe, the Grand Hilton Hotel in Milwaukee. Okay, let's take you back, though, to inside of the convention hall there as we await some of these other speakers as well. Remember, we do want to let you interact with us as you watch alongside us here on Live Now from Fox. Remember, I want to put this QR code up. Take a look at this. You have it right here. There we go. All right. So this is what we know. This is what we want you to do to help us interact with you. Live Now from Fox, as you know, is the 24/7 national streaming news service powered by Fox TV stations. We're on wherever you stream. We want to know where you're watching Live Now from. So just scan that QR code there on your screen. URL, livenowfox.com/connect. So there you can send us a photo of where you're watching the RNC, the final night of the convention, whether it's in your living room or at a bar or restaurant, at the gym, or even you can also include your name and city. You might see your photo on our air where you are watching Live Now. I want to know, as we continue to follow all of this here, we want to thank you for watching us. So you can scan that QR code or visit that website link there. Send us a photo of you watching the RNC. We want to hear from you as well. This is quite the historic night, coming not even a week after former President Trump had that attack on his life, that brush with death. And there he appeared Monday night in the box there with that bandage on his right ear. With
I hope
what has
so,
now become
because
kind of the iconic slogan and gesture of so many Trump supporters there, with a fist pump 3 times. Fight, fight, fight. And of course, here on Live Now, we'll be continuing to follow the investigation into some of the perceived security lapses on the ground there in Butler, Pennsylvania, in the wake of the assassination attempt against Donald Trump. Of course, you're going to be hearing from him later tonight. We're told that's going to begin around 10 p.m. Eastern. We're also told the speech will be north of an hour in length. So we're going to hear from the former president. The message is going to be one of unity as well.
Did you just hear
the theme
I'm like, what?
of the convention,
This
especially in
is
the wake
ballsy.
of that assassination attempt. We're also learning more details about the suspected shooter, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who he knew, his high school friends, speaking out, his digital profile and footprint, what was on his phone at the time when he bought the weapon, when he bought the rounds, and some of the Secret Service movements and local law enforcement movements on the ground.
That looks kind of cool
as well. This coming as so many calls are pouring in for the Secret Service Director, Ken Cheadle, to resign that post in the wake of some of these perceived failures.
Boring.
That she leads there. We know that the Inspector General.
This guy's fucking boring as shit, yo.
We know that there will be a hearing in the House Oversight and Government Reform
Oh,
Committee on Monday.
shit.
Director Cheadle. We'll have that live on Monday.
I can't believe what's going on. I almost want to.
That seems to be
I don't know if I can sit here this long.
On what to do about President Biden. Will he or won't he be the nominee? We know, we brought you the news, Democrats pushing back the virtual roll call till August. We had reported a couple of weeks ago that possibly that roll call was going to take place July the 21st, but senior Democrats at the behest of Chuck Schumer and others
some
pushing
sort
that
of
roll
weird
call
ass vibe,
back
bro.
into August as well. And remember, the in-person DNC in Chicago, of course, here on Live Now from Fox. We will be covering the Democratic National Convention a little bit later there in August. Okay, let's take you back out live there to the convention floor there. Kind of a fun, zoomed-out vantage point as we await for former President Donald Trump to speak tonight. We also are going to hear from speakers like Dana White, like Hulk Hogan, and up next, Tucker Carlson. And there he is. Let's listen.
So fun! Thank you!
Let's go, Tucker.
Oh, this is wild. Thank you. I've been... Good to see you. Thank you. I feel like I know about half the people in the room. This is wild. What are you doing? Justin Welch. Thank you, guys.
He about to tear this shit up, isn't he?
Can I just say, Peter Navarro is back. Welcome to Peter Navarro.
Hell yeah. Right, Marky?
That has happened to so many who are friends with Donald Trump. Thank you for having me. I have been to many conventions. I have never been to a more fun convention or a convention with better vibes. They literally let Navarro out of prison. First of all, thank you. This feels a lot different from what I thought it was going to feel like. I can't hear you, but I know it's something good. So I watched the video of what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania about 50 times. I think I was one of about 8 billion people around the world who watched it. And the more I watched it, the more it struck me that everything was different after that moment. Everything. This convention is different. The nation is different. The world is different. Donald Trump is different. When he stood up after being shot in the face, bloodied, and put his hand up, I thought at that moment, that was a transformation. This was no longer a man. Well, I think that. I think it was divine intervention. But the effect that it had on Donald Trump, he was no longer just a political party's nominee or a former president or a future president. This was the leader of a nation. And I think there's a difference.
I've spent most of my life in Washington, where the president is at the top of the pyramid. Everyone wants to be the president. But if you think about it, the presidency comes with great power, obviously. But if you think about it, that is a title that is bestowed by a process of some sort that can be subverted. And in the end, it does not confer by itself, as no title does, legitimacy. Just because you call yourself the president doesn't mean that much inherently. I can call my dog the CEO of Hewlett Packard. It doesn't mean she is. And it's true. And you hate to say it, but it is also true, as a fact, that you could take, a mannequin, a dead person, and make him president. No, you could. I'm just saying theoretically possible.
What's up, Taylor?
With enough cheating, that could happen.
How you doing?
But being a leader is very different. It's not a title. It's organic. You can't name someone a leader. A leader is the bravest man. That's who the leader is. That is true in all human organizations. This is a law of nature. And in that moment, Donald Trump, months before the presidential election, became the leader of this nation. That was the most obvious to me. And I have to say, I think it changed.
Taylor.
I reached out to Trump in hours of it that night. And what he said to me that night, having
he
just
loves
been shot in the
Tucker.
face, he said not a single word about himself.
He loves him some Tucker. He's probably edging out to some Tucker right now.
Didn't run.
He's like, hi, Taylor.
And I thought two things. The first thing I thought was, well, of course they didn't run. His courage gave them heart. A leader's courage gives courage to his people. And the second thing I thought was, this is the selfish guy I've been hearing about for 9 years? Really? Not a word about himself? About his people, period. And the second thing I noticed, which I don't think anyone has remarked upon in public, but I'm just going to since I don't have a script, like why not, is that he turned down the most obvious opportunity in politics to inflame the nation after being shot. To inflame the nation, which is an opportunity that almost every other politician I've ever met, and certainly his opponents, would have taken instantly. And they would have said, well, what is
crazy,
this?
Bro.
How did he get shot? Like, how did this happen? And those are real questions that we have to get to the bottom of. But in the moments, the days, the week after the shooting, he did not say that. He did his best to bring the country together. And I thought, this is the divisive figure? This is the irresponsible person? No. This is the most responsible, unifying behavior of a leader I think I've ever seen. So the question is, where is he leading us? And I could go on for hours, but let me just sum it up. I do think the entire point from the famous escalator ride 9 years ago until today of Donald Trump's public life has been to remind us of one fact, which is a leader's duty is to his people, to his country, and to no other. That's the point. That's the only point. And another word for this is democracy. Democracy, in case you're a little sick of being beaten in the face with democracy on television, actual democracy is the proposition that the citizens of a country own that country. They're not renters, they're not serfs, they're not slaves, they are the owners of the country. And for that to be true, their leaders to represent them, which is another way of saying they have to do what the people want them to do. Or a close
hey, miss you, Taylor.
Thereof.
I'll be back doing regular shit tomorrow night.
What people want, not just 1 year, but generationally, say for 50 years, then it may be, I don't know what, it's not a democracy. And so I think the entire Trump project, paradoxically, is attacked as an enemy of democracy, is to return democracy to the United States. Hey, let's pay attention to what people actually want. And the lack of interest in that question in Washington is something that ultimately drove me out of the city after 35 years.
I'd rather be doing that than this.
The prostrate bodies of their fellow citizens ODing on drugs.
Me too, Ryan.
Cast votes to send money to some foreign country. Yeah, actually, we've lost more Americans from drugs in the past 4 years than we lost in World War II.
Yes.
Yeah. our bloodiest war, more than we lost in World War II. Does anybody care? It is pathetic. It is pathetic. And do you hear a single word from Washington about doing anything about it? We know where the drugs are coming from. We know the supply routes. The U.S. military spent billions bombing the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Did they speed him
You don't
up?
see our commander-in-chief suggesting that we use our military to protect our country or the lives of its citizens. No. That's for Ukraine. And it's too much, actually. It's too insulting. It's too insulting. It's a middle finger in the face of every American. It's a very clear statement, which is unmistakable. And that is, we don't care about you. And Donald Trump, whatever you say about him, and I think he's a wonderful person. I know him well. By the way, the funniest person I've ever met in my life, actually. You can't be funny without perspective or without empathy, which is true. But everything else about Trump aside, he actually cares because he's interested in the people who live here because that's his job. A father's job, his duty is to his family. An officer's duty is to his men. A president's duty is to his citizens. And he seems to be the only one who thinks that. And in his choice for vice president, J.D. Vance, he's made that really clear. J.D. Vance, I'll say this about him, is a thoroughly decent man, and I'll just admit it, a friend of mine, one of the very few politicians in Washington who actually is very close to his own wife, which is wonderful to see. And she's wonderful, actually. But J.D. Vance
That's
has
a good
views
compliment.
that are closer to Trump's voters than anyone else in Washington in office.
That's a good
Therefore,
compliment, bro.
He's the vice president. That's called democracy. So I will stop at just one point.
I don't know what's going on.
what's
I'm
happened
probably
over the
gonna
past
end
month.
it after this.
Since the debate,
After Tucker.
and particularly on Saturday in Butler,
Oh no.
I think a lot of people are wondering, what is this?
I
It's
don't know
nothing
what
like
the fuck's going
politics.
on.
Something bigger is going on here. I think even people who don't believe in God are beginning to think, well, maybe there's something to this. Actually. And I'm starting to think it's going to be okay, actually. I do think that. In the day after the midterm elections in 2018, Antifa came to my house. The Democratic Party's militia, okay? I was at work. It was obvious when I was at work because it was public. My wife was home alone. They tried to come in through the front door. They terrorized her. She hid in our pantry. It was on television. It was horrible, actually. It was, I mean, I'm not whining about it. I wasn't getting shot in the face, but it wrecked our day. And the next morning, we're lying in bed, and the phone rings for my wife, and it's Donald Trump, who's not like a regular text buddy of Donald Trump's. She picks it up, hello? Susie, it's Donald Trump. And it's coming through, I can hear it. You know, I'm lying in bed, whoa. And the first thing he says is, I'm gonna stand guard outside your house. And she goes, oh, that's so nice. And he says, I'll never forget this as long as I live. He says, you know, there's a lot of hate out there. And she said, you know, there is, Mr. President. And then he says, but there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love. And we are seeing that love. I don't think it's human love. And I'll just stop with this. I'm not always convinced that I'm on the right side. I've been on the wrong side many times. You'll never hear me say, I'm on God's side, God's with me, or even I'm with God. I want to be, not sure I am.
Same, Ryan.
But I will say this unequivocally and conclusively. God is among us right now. And I think that's enough. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Golf General Manager, Trump National Doral, Carrie Tomasco Ruiz.
This shit's fucking...
I'm not sure how I follow Tucker, but I'm going to give it a go.
What do you think, Ryan?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carrie Ruiz, and like some people on
If
this
7
stage this
people
evening,
fucking watch
I am
Tucker,
not a
bro,
politician.
I don't want to
I
fucking
am
just
not
sit here.
a
Sorry,
public
guys, and
figure.
hold this
I'm a
motherfucker
mom of 3
and do
and
this.
a woman of faith. who's been
I wanted
fortunate
to
to work
cover it,
side by
not if
side
nobody's gonna
with Donald
watch it.
Trump and his amazing family. "12 years ago, the Trump Organization purchased the iconic Doral Golf Resort after
Yeah,
so many
I'm
companies
not gonna flip
tried
it.
and failed to create a world-class golf experience, all while turning a profit. With his keen eye for business and uncanny
Alright,
ability to make
y'all have a
things
good night.
better, Donald Trump got to work. He poured hundreds of millions of dollars and his own
Y'all
sweat
be
and tears
good.
into the property. He had a hand in virtually everything, and no detail was too small. He didn't just change
Hold
the
on.
carpet
Let me
or
see
apply a
something
fresh
real
coat
fast.
of paint. He stripped
Yeah.
this legendary
Alright, y'all.
resort
Have a
to
good
its
night,
core
y'all. Peace.
and rebuilt it the right way.